My luggage was already packed, and I was just about to walk out the door with my daughter for our vacation trip when my phone buzzed with a text. The message informed me I wouldn't be joining them on their Italian getaway. My son-in-law had decided he wanted this to be a family-only holiday. In the end, they brought only his mother and father along, leaving me behind at home alone. This all happened right after I'd covered the costs for their brand new home. So, without a second thought, I halted all mortgage payments and listed the house for sale. What went down after they got back from their trip is going to shock you. Before we go any further, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our latest stories. I was in my bedroom, carefully folding my favorite travel shirt, when I felt my cell phone vibrating on the nightstand. That soft blue cotton fabric felt smooth in my hands as I smoothed out the wrinkles, already picturing myself wearing it to that little restaurant Celeste had found near the Vatican. My travel bag lay open across the bed like it was ready for an adventure, already half filled with the outfits I'd picked specifically for our Italian trip. I checked the forecast, and it showed nothing but clear, sunny skies over Rome. Absolutely perfect for all those walking tours I'd researched, printed out, and stuffed into my carry-on. While I was weighing whether to bring my brown leather dress shoes or my comfortable walking sneakers, I caught myself humming along to an old Frank Sinatra tune. Our plane tickets to Leonardo da Vinci Airport were sitting right there on my nightstand beside my passport. Both looked crisp and official, with just 4 hours left before takeoff. That familiar pre-trip flutter was already stirring in my chest. That mix of excitement and nerves that always shows up before a big journey. Then my phone buzzed again. Celeste's name lit up the screen. I set down the shirt I was holding and grabbed the phone, figuring she was calling with some last-minute flight info or maybe a reminder about where to meet at the airport. But what I read instead sent a chill straight through me. The text said I wouldn't be going to Italy with them. Her husband had decided it was better if this vacation stayed just for family. I read those words once, then again, then a third time, my thumb hovering over the screen like maybe if I stared long enough, the message would somehow transform into something else. I was still holding that sweater I'd been about to fold, and my mind was struggling to process what I was seeing. Just family members only. That phrase looped in my head like a broken record. But I was her father. I was the one who'd planned this entire trip. I was the one who'd bought all the airline tickets, spent hours hunting down the best restaurants, and mapped out our whole itinerary during those late-night planning sessions at my kitchen table. How did family members only make any sense when the person reading that message was your own dad? I sank onto the edge of my bed, the open suitcase still sitting beside me. My hands trembled slightly as I typed back the only response I could manage. Asterisk, okay. Asterisk. That disappointment settled in my chest like a heavy stone. I looked around my bedroom and saw all the things I'd prepped for a vacation that was no longer happening. There were those travel-sized bottles of shampoo and toothpaste lined up on my dresser. All those guidebooks with yellow sticky notes marking the places we'd planned to visit. That brand new camera I'd bought just for this trip was still sitting in its box, unopened. I closed my suitcase slowly, deliberately, each motion careful. Every snap of those metal clasps echoed through the quiet bedroom with a sense of finality. Then I picked up my phone and called the airline, listening to that tedious hold music while I waited to cancel my reservation. The woman who helped me was kind and handled everything quickly. She said, "I'm really sorry your plans changed, Mr. Brennan," and I found myself wondering if she could hear the disappointment in my voice. After I hung up, I went and sat in my living room, staring at all those travel brochures spread across my coffee table. The house felt emptier than usual, quiet in a way that made my ears ring. From outside, I could hear Mrs. Holloway's dog barking at something in the distance, that sharp, insistent sound cutting through the suburban stillness. I reached over and picked up one of those brochures. It was a glossy pamphlet all about Roman architecture. I set it down on the side table next to my chair. A small, meaningless gesture, but it was about all I could manage in that moment, when I was finally realizing I'd been very carefully and very deliberately left out of their plans. When evening came, it brought with it the same quiet emptiness that had been filling my house all day. I'd been moving around like a zombie through those hours, even leaving my dinner plates sitting in the sink instead of washing them right away like I always do. That packed suitcase was still sitting by my bedroom door, a constant reminder of all the plans that would never come to be. I had the TV on in the living room, some evening news show I wasn't really watching. I kept picking up my phone for no reason, scrolling through random stuff, feeling restless, my fingers fidgeting against the screen. I figured maybe checking Facebook might distract me from that hollow feeling in my chest. I scrolled past Mrs. Fairbanks's cat photos, some recipe posts from the ladies in my book club, and political content I didn't feel like reading. That familiar blue glow from the screen was actually kind of soothing in my dimming living room. That's when I spotted it. Darien's parents were standing right there in front of the Coliseum. Both of them grinning at the camera with that look tourists get when they found the perfect photo op. The caption underneath read, asterisk, beginning of the best family vacation ever. Asterisk, the timestamp showed it had been posted just 2 hours earlier. My thumb froze above the screen. Maybe they'd taken a different trip. Or maybe this was just an old photo they decided to post now. My heart started racing as I clicked on the profile to see more pictures. And there it was. Same location, same time, but this photo had 4 people in it. Darien's parents, Darien, and Celeste, all grouped together in front of some Roman cafe near the Trevi Fountain. Wine glasses sitting on the table behind them. Celeste had written a caption that made my stomach drop. Asterisk, so grateful for family time in the Eternal City. Asterisk, I counted the faces in that photo with fingers that were starting to shake. 1, 2, 3, 4. That word family felt like it was burning into my brain. I put the phone down on my coffee table, their happy faces still glowing up from the screen. I got up and walked to my kitchen window, looking out at my neighbor's house where warm lights shone through their windows. Families spending the evening together. That feeling of betrayal hit me like ocean waves, each one crashing harder than the last. I grabbed my phone one more time, telling myself maybe I'd gotten it wrong. Maybe those pictures would show something different if I looked again. But there they were. Recent timestamps, beaming faces, all 4 of them together in that city I'd been dreaming about, enjoying the vacation I'd put together, following the travel plan I'd spent hours researching. I went back to the kitchen window and caught my own reflection in the glass, pale with dark circles under my eyes. Behind me, their group picture still glowed on my phone screen, their joy mixing with the image of me standing there alone. The contrast was sharp and painful, like a picture that showed me exactly where I stood in their version of family. I barely slept that night, just lay there tossing, those vacation photos flashing through my mind every time I closed my eyes. When morning finally came, with that dull gray light creeping through my curtains, I knew I needed answers. I couldn't just let this go without understanding why. My coffee cup trembled slightly in my hands as I sat at my kitchen table, rehearsing what I'd say to Celeste. With the time difference, it was already afternoon in Rome. Perfect timing to call. I took a deep breath, punched in her number, and listened to that expensive-sounding international ringtone. 3 rings. 4. Then her voice. Asterisk. Hey there, Dad. Asterisk. I could hear noise in the background. Darien talking, street sounds, all that bustling atmosphere of an Italian city. I need to understand something, I said, getting straight to the point. Asterisk, what's that? Asterisk, she sounded distracted, probably looking at some tourist attraction or shop window. Asterisk, I saw those pictures on Facebook. Asterisk, asterisk, Darien's mother and father are right there with you guys. Asterisk, there was a long pause. When she spoke again, her voice had shifted, defensive. Asterisk, Dad, we can talk about this and explain everything. Asterisk, asterisk, you told me it was just for family members only. So what does that make me? Asterisk. Her voice turned colder. Asterisk, listen. Darien said you can be too much to handle. He didn't want you messing up his vacation. Asterisk, that phrase. Asterisk, too much to handle, asterisk. Hit me like a punch. Asterisk, messing it up? I'm the one who planned this whole trip. I bought all the tickets. Asterisk. Asterisk, and Darien's parents paid their own way. They don't expect us to look after them all the time. Asterisk, those words hung in the air like an accusation. Asterisk, I helped support you too. Asterisk, she cut me off. Asterisk, We never asked you to make us feel guilty about it. Asterisk. I could hear Darien laughing in the background about something else entirely. Relaxed, clueless. That sound made my teeth clench. To be honest, Dad, Celeste continued, her voice hardening with every word. Asterisk. Darien was right. You need too much attention. Asterisk. My phone felt heavy in my hand. Asterisk. I get it now. Asterisk asterisk. Good. We'll talk when we get back. Asterisk asterisk. I understand. Asterisk. I ended the call without saying goodbye. Set the phone down carefully. That phrase, asterisk need too much attention asterisk, kept looping in my head like a terrible song. I found myself walking to my home office, pulled there by some nameless feeling. Every wall was covered in family photos. Me teaching Celeste to ride a bike. Her college graduation. Her wedding day. Me walking her down the aisle. Tears of joy streaming down my face. My hands slowly curled into fists as I looked at all these images of a relationship I'd clearly misjudged. In one picture, I was holding baby Celeste, both of us smiling. My reflection in the glass showed an older man now, harder, with something cold stirring behind his eyes. I reached out and adjusted the picture frame, small, careful movements. That little act felt significant somehow, like I was fixing more than just a crooked photograph. I stayed there after that call, surrounded by proof of what I'd thought was love but was apparently just me being useful. Every photo on that wall told a story I was only now starting to understand correctly. There was the wedding photo. I'd spent $42,000 on that day, making sure every detail was perfect because I wanted her to be happy. The college graduation picture was there too. I'd covered her student loans when Darien couldn't find work after graduation. House hunting photos were spread across my desk. I'd co-signed their mortgage when the banks wouldn't approve them a loan. Christmas photos showed expensive presents under trees I'd bought. Birthday parties where my gifts were opened last, almost like they'd been forgotten. Each memory added more weight to my chest, a pressure building, making it hard to breathe. I opened my desk drawer and pulled out bank statements and receipts I'd kept out of habit. The down payment on their house, $95,000 from my retirement savings. Money I'd set aside for my own future. Car payments I'd taken over when Darien lost his first job. Credit card bills I'd paid when they couldn't make their monthly payments. The vacation savings I'd been building for years, money that ended up buying their plane tickets to Italy. But it wasn't just about money. I started remembering all the plans I'd canceled. All the things I'd given up that went far deeper than dollars. That fishing trip with my old buddies, called off because Celeste needed me to watch the kids. The woman from my book club who'd asked me to dinner. I said no because Celeste needed help moving. My own travel dreams, postponed over and over while I supported theirs. Those Sunday dinners where Darien barely looked at me. Holiday gatherings where I felt like an outsider. All the subtle ways he made me feel unwelcome while taking my financial support. The pattern was obvious now. I couldn't believe I'd missed it. My hands trembled as I flipped the photos face down. Needs too much attention, kept repeating in my head. Suddenly, I understood the difference between being loved and being useful. They never wanted me in their lives, they wanted me to fund them. I jumped up so fast my chair hit the wall. The mirror showed someone who'd been used for years. Someone who confused generosity with love and got manipulation in return. The reflection showed a patient, giving man repaid with betrayal. I opened my laptop, staring at my bank account where both Celeste and Darien had access. My finger hovered over the trackpad, one click from changing everything. But I closed it. That action hung suspended. Some decisions need planning, not impulse. I sat in my office's heavy silence. The closed laptop felt like a door I wasn't ready to open. Years of manipulation weighed on my shoulders as I stared at those overturned photos. My quiet house held its breath. Then my phone pinged, a banking app notification. I almost ignored it, expecting spam, but something made me check. Asterisk account alert. Transaction processed. Asterisk I opened the app expecting a utility bill. Instead, the details hit like a punch. Asterisk $8.92. Il Convivio Restaurant, Rome, Italy. Asterisk their lunchtime. Celeste had used my authorized user card, Emergency access I'd given her years ago when she was building credit. The irony burned. They excluded me from their family vacation but used my money for fancy Roman meals. I scrolled through recent transactions with growing disbelief. Hotel charges, boutiques, attractions, all on my card while Darien's parents supposedly paid their own way. I paced my office, phone clutched tight. Every family photo looked different now, like evidence. The thought formed clearly. This is my chance. I opened the card management section. Celeste's name sat in black letters. Years of financial access granted from love, returned as manipulation. Another ping. $127 elegant style, Rome. She was shopping while I processed their betrayal. That decided it. My finger hovered over remove user. Years of support ward with certainty that support and exploitation are different. The confirmation appeared. Asterisk, are you sure? This cannot be undone. Asterisk, I selected yes. Authorized user access revoked. I felt my first real control in years, foreign but satisfying. I set the phone down carefully, looking at my reflection in the dark screen. For the first time in days, I smiled. I went to make coffee, moving with more purpose than I'd felt since that devastating text. The coffee maker gurgled while my neighbor's lawn mower started, ordinary life continuing as my quiet revolution began. Next morning, I sat at my kitchen table, actually enjoying coffee for the first time in days. The paper lay spread before me when my phone rang aggressively. International number. I let it ring twice before answering, no longer eager to please. Good morning, Celeste, I said, hearing her sharp intake. Asterisk, Dad. What did you do to the card? Asterisk, immediately demanding no pleasantries. Asterisk, I removed your account access. Asterisk, asterisk, don't give me that. I tried paying for lunch and it was declined, in front of Darien's parents. Asterisk, her voice could cut glass. Asterisk, the waiter came back 4 times. It was humiliating. Asterisk, that must have been embarrassing, I replied, sipping coffee. Asterisk, embarrassing? It was mortifying. You can't do that. I need that card. Asterisk, asterisk, for what? I thought you didn't need me taking care of you constantly. Asterisk, asterisk. That's completely different. Asterisk, her voice kept getting shriller. Asterisk, is it? Asterisk, there was quiet, muffled talking in the background, before she returned with poison in her tone. Asterisk, you fix this immediately or you'll face consequences. Asterisk, asterisk, what consequences? Asterisk, asterisk, Darien and I have been discussing things. When we return, we're researching care facilities. Asterisk, my coffee mug stopped halfway to my mouth. Asterisk, care facilities? Asterisk, asterisk, you're aging, Dad. You clearly can't manage your money responsibly. Asterisk, the cruelty in her words was shocking. Asterisk, we'll sell your house to cover the costs. You don't need all that room anyway. Asterisk, I heard Darien speaking behind her. Asterisk, tell him it's for his benefit. Asterisk, asterisk, Darien says it's for your benefit. Asterisk, I sat in extended silence, absorbing these threats. They wanted to put me in an institution and sell my home because I'd cut off their vacation spending. The nerve was incredible. Asterisk, Dad, are you there? Restore my card access. Asterisk, asterisk. I heard everything. Asterisk, asterisk, good. So you'll handle it? Asterisk, no, asterisk. What do you mean no? Asterisk, asterisk. I mean no. Enjoy your family vacation. Asterisk, asterisk. Dad, don't you dare. Asterisk, I ended the call and placed the phone face down. My hands stayed calm as I took a long drink of coffee, gazing out at my well-kept yard. This house I'd owned for 28 years, completely paid off, only my name on the deed. The house they imagined they could sell to stick me somewhere convenient. I got up with fresh determination, leaving my unfinished coffee and heading toward my office with purposeful steps. There was business to handle. I retrieved my house deed from the filing cabinet, laying it on my desk like a strategy map, but it wasn't my deed I was examining. It was the second property document, Celeste and Darien's house on Oak Avenue, with my name alone on the title, exactly as it had been since I purchased it for them. I recalled that conversation 3 years back. Asterisk, just for mortgage approval. Sweetie, we'll switch it to our names once everything's finalized. Asterisk, they'd been too occupied with their lives for paperwork. Always promising to handle it next month, next season, next year. I located Kai Nakamura's business card in my desk drawer. He'd sold me both properties, a reliable man who valued discretion. I grabbed my keys and left. The drive to his office took me through familiar Cedar Falls streets. Mrs. Patterson waved from her garden as I backed out. Her friendly wave reminding me how ordinary this morning appeared. 20 minutes later, I parked at Nakamura Properties, located in a restored Victorian that Kai had renovated with care. Kai glanced up from his computer as I walked in, surprise and pleasure on his face. Asterisk, Fletcher, great to see you. How's retirement going? Asterisk, asterisk. I need to sell the Oak Avenue property fast. Asterisk. He stopped, his experienced eyes catching something in my expression. Asterisk, the house you purchased for Celeste. Is everything okay? Asterisk, asterisk, everything's fine. I just need it sold. What's the market doing? Asterisk. Kai turned to his computer, accessing comparable sales with professional skill. Asterisk, market's strong right now. Properties like that in that area, $215,000, maybe $225,000. Asterisk. The figure pleased me. I'd paid $148,000 3 years ago. Asterisk. How fast are we talking? Asterisk, Kai asked. Asterisk, ASAP. Price it to sell. Asterisk, he pulled out listing forms, inspection schedules, his movements practiced and comforting. Asterisk, we'll need photos, possibly some staging. I can have my crew there tomorrow. Asterisk, asterisk. The house has current occupants. Asterisk. Asterisk. Oh, will Celeste coordinate the showings? Asterisk, asterisk. Celeste's in Italy. I have keys. Asterisk. Kai seemed slightly puzzled but professionally accommodating. We covered listing price, commission, closing schedules. I signed the listing contract, my signature confident and final. I'll begin marketing right away, Kai said. Asterisk, in this market, we might have offers within days. Asterisk. We shook hands. I valued his professionalism, how he avoided unnecessary questions. Walking to my car, I felt lighter than I had in days. Classical music from my radio filled the quiet as I drove slowly through downtown Cedar Falls, viewing my hometown with fresh perspective. At a red light, a young family crossed the street. Father holding a toddler, mother with a stroller. I remembered when Celeste was that age, before everything became about money and manipulation and what I could provide instead of who I was. I pulled into my driveway and sat briefly, looking at my mailbox with Brennan painted in faded letters. The name felt different now, meaningful again. I walked up my front steps, keys jingling, a sound promising more changes ahead. Inside, I opened my laptop to find an email from the real estate service. Property listed successfully appeared on screen, and I felt satisfaction seeing those words. But more work remained. I opened a new browser tab and searched moving services Cedar Falls, Iowa. Large corporate companies filled the first results, but I scrolled past them seeking something personal and dependable. I found Brent's Reliable Moving, small operation, solid reviews, family-owned for 12 years. The type of business where you speak to the owner, not a call center. I called the number expecting exactly that. Asterisk, Brent's Moving. This is Brent. Asterisk, his voice was rough, direct, no company script. Asterisk, I need help moving some stuff tomorrow. It's urgent. Asterisk. Asterisk. What kind of schedule are we looking at? Asterisk, asterisk, tomorrow morning if you can. It's a whole house full of things. Asterisk, asterisk. Where are we going from and to? Asterisk, Brent asked. I gave him Celeste's address, explaining everything needed storage. Asterisk, storage place set up? Asterisk, he asked, and I realized I hadn't arranged that yet. I can suggest safekeep storage on Pine Street, Brent continued. Asterisk, work with them regularly. Need their number. Asterisk, within minutes, I had Iris from Safekeep Storage on a 3-way call, working out details. For a whole house, you'll need at least a 10 by 20 unit, Brent recommended. First month up front. That's $135, Iris said. Asterisk. I'll take it. Asterisk. Asterisk. Can someone meet us there tomorrow? Asterisk. Back with Brent, we settled the specifics. Asterisk. My truck and 2 guys. We can begin at 8:15 a.m. What's the address again? Asterisk. I gave Celeste's Oak Avenue address. Adding asterisk. The people living there are traveling. I'd like everything finished before they get back. Asterisk. Asterisk. Got it. Family matter. Asterisk. Brent's voice suggested he'd handled these situations before. Asterisk. Something like that. Asterisk. Asterisk. Been through it myself. Will be quick and respectful. Asterisk. After finishing the calls and paying for storage online, I cooked dinner with an appetite I hadn't had in days. I set my alarm for 6:30 a.m., earlier than my usual retirement routine, and laid out work clothes. My old jeans and boots from my contractor days, before I became someone who paid for other people's dreams instead of chasing his own. I sat in my living room watching evening news with fresh focus. The weather report showed clear skies, perfect for moving. Everything was coming together with a smoothness that felt both satisfying and meant to be. That night, I made sure my phone was charging, placing it on my nightstand beside a glass of water. In the bathroom mirror while brushing my teeth, I saw someone I hardly knew. Someone prepared for action. Someone who'd quit asking permission to control his own life. I got to the Oak Avenue property at 7:45 a.m., 15 minutes early. Like always, the house I knew so well looked different now. Not my daughter's home anymore. Just a property that needed emptying. Brent's moving truck sat outside already, motor idling, steam rising in the cool morning air. Brent stepped out of the cab when I drove up. A solid man in his 50s with the no-nonsense attitude of someone who dealt with countless family dramas without judging. His 2 crew members, younger men in matching company shirts, were already pulling out equipment with smooth efficiency. Asterisk. Mr. Brennan. Asterisk. Brent offered a calloused hand. Asterisk. Ready to start? Asterisk. I opened the front door with my backup key. The house quiet and hollow in a way that seemed right. We went through each room, Brent evaluating furniture and belongings with expert eyes. This will take about 3 hours, maybe 4 with the heavy stuff, he said, writing on his clipboard. I showed him what was Celeste and Darien's, which meant everything. The pricey sectional couch I'd gotten them last Christmas. Darien's fancy home office setup with gaming gear. Celeste's huge wardrobe filling 2 walk-in closets. The crew began with bedroom boxes, wrapping and marking with organized precision. I insisted on helping despite Brent's concerns about insurance. I'm not that old, I said, earning a smile from one of the younger guys. Soon I was hauling boxes marked Celeste's books and Darien's sports gear, feeling odd satisfaction watching their stuff get packed away so systematically. In their bedroom closet, I discovered photo albums from their wedding. Looking through them, I noticed I was missing from most pictures. Darien's family featured in every shot. I showed up in maybe 2 photos, always on the sides. I shut the album and handed it to Brent's crew. Room after room, we cleared expensive things I'd forgotten buying. Designer purses, electronics, the leather dining set I'd bought for their first anniversary. My back started aching, but I kept going. Powered by purpose I hadn't felt in years. In what was meant to be a future nursery, I found baby furniture they'd hopefully put together for grandchildren that never happened. For a second, doubt snuck in. Was I being too cruel? Then I discovered Darien's credit card bills showing luxury spending while they cried poverty to me, and the doubt vanished entirely. Asterisk. You all right, Mr. Brennan? Asterisk. Brent asked, seeing my hesitation. Asterisk. Just remembering things. Let's continue. Asterisk. By 11:45 a.m., we completed our last check of the empty house. Rooms sounded different now. Afternoon light pouring through naked windows onto bare floors. I locked up and kept the keys, following the moving truck to safekeep storage, where I watched their belongings vanish into Unit 52C. I paid Brent cash, adding a big tip. Hope things work out for you, Mr. Brennan, he said with real warmth. Driving home alone, I saw my phone flash with a Facebook alert. I pulled into my garage, the device still buzzing in the cup holder. like a nagging reminder that my peaceful morning was about to get much more complex. Inside, I finally checked the buzzing phone to find several Facebook notifications. Celeste had posted furious status updates. Asterisk. Some people have no respect for family privacy. Asterisk. The comments showed friends asking what happened, with Celeste playing victim perfectly. I closed Facebook without answering and called Kai Nakamura back. Asterisk. Fletcher, excellent news.
Kay soundet thrilled.
Asterisk. We have a serious buyer. Cash offer this fast. Young couple just moved here for jobs. They love the area. Asterisk. He paused dramatically. Asterisk. Offer is $228,000. Higher than expected. Asterisk. The number pleased me. Asterisk. When do they want to close? Asterisk. Asterisk. That's the thing, they want to close right away. They could move in this weekend if we can manage it. Asterisk. I looked at my calendar. Today was Thursday. Asterisk. This weekend? They're in a corporate apartment month to month. Very eager buyers. Asterisk. Kai's excitement was catching. Asterisk. Can you do fast closing? Asterisk. Asterisk. I can have documents ready by tomorrow. Asterisk. Asterisk. Make it happen. Asterisk. Friday morning found me at the title office, signing documents with careful precision. I met the buyers, Caspian and Nora Mercer, early 30s, the type of optimistic young couple that reminded me of Celeste and Darien before bitterness set in. We love what you did with the yard, Nora said during our final walkthrough of the empty house. Asterisk. I didn't mention it wasn't my yard work. Asterisk. It's perfect, Caspian said, taking the keys. Asterisk. We can move in tomorrow morning. Asterisk. The bank transfer alert appeared on my phone. $228,000 minus realtor fees meant roughly $192,000 profit. I turned my fatherly gesture into a solid business success. Saturday morning, I chose to drive by the property one final time. I arrived to see a U-Haul in the driveway, Caspian and Nora directing movers with contagious enthusiasm. A baby crib was going inside. A young family beginning fresh in a house that had witnessed too much disappointment. I parked across the street, watching Nora plant flowers in the garden, while Caspian built a swing set in the backyard. My phone rang with an international number, and I answered just as a taxi pulled up to the house. The timing couldn't have been more perfect. Celeste climbed out first, looking worn out from traveling but instantly alert when she saw what was happening in front of her. Darien handled paying the cab driver, and I watched his face shift from puzzled to alarmed as he took in the U-Haul and strangers standing in what he thought was his driveway. Hey, excuse me, Darien called out to Nora, who glanced up from her gardening with that friendly, curious look people get when interrupted. Asterisk. What exactly are you people doing in our house? Asterisk. Caspian stepped into the doorway, holding official-looking paperwork. Asterisk. Your house? I think there might be some kind of misunderstanding. Asterisk. I climbed out of my car and walked steadily toward the unfolding scene, reaching into my jacket pocket for an envelope I'd prepared. Celeste caught sight of me, her expression shifting from confusion to understanding to absolute rage in about 3 seconds. Asterisk. Dad. What the hell is going on? Why are there complete strangers moving around in our house? Asterisk. Her voice had that razor-sharp edge I'd grown so tired of. Caspian and Nora exchanged worried looks, the kind people share when they find themselves in someone else's drama. Nora was still gripping that gardening trowel like she might need to defend her new home. Sir, I don't know who you think you are, Darien said to Caspian, his voice getting more aggressive. Asterisk. But you need to pack up and get out immediately. Asterisk. Caspian raised his paperwork. Asterisk. I've got the deed right here. We completed the closing yesterday. Asterisk. Asterisk. That's completely impossible. This house belongs to us. Asterisk. Nora's voice was quiet but determined. Asterisk. Maybe we should call the police. Asterisk. I stepped forward then, letting my voice carry that calm, steady authority I developed during years of managing construction projects. Asterisk. That's not going to be necessary. Asterisk. Celeste's tone became immediately demanding, the way it always did when she expected me to fix her problems. Asterisk. Dad. You need to fix this right now. Asterisk, I spoke to Caspian and Nora first. They were the innocent parties. Asterisk, I'm truly sorry for this confusion. Please continue moving into your new home. Asterisk, then I turned to Celeste and Darien. My voice steady and matter-of-fact. Asterisk, the house was sold because it belonged to me, not to you. Asterisk, Darien's face turned that deep red that meant he was getting really angry. Asterisk, what do you mean it belonged to you? That doesn't make any sense. Asterisk, asterisk, if you check the original deed documents, you'll see it was never actually transferred into your names. Asterisk. Celeste's voice rose to that familiar shrieking pitch. Asterisk. You can't just sell our home out from under us. Asterisk. I can absolutely sell my own property. I replied evenly asterisk, which is exactly what I did. Asterisk, asterisk. This is theft. Plain and simple. We're going to sue you for everything you're worth. Asterisk, Darien was practically screaming. Asterisk, with what money? I seem to remember your credit cards got declined in Rome. Asterisk, Caspian leaned over and whispered something to Nora. They both nodded and started heading toward their front door. Their front door now, not Celeste and Darien's anymore. Please just go inside and don't worry about this. I told them calmly. Asterisk, this doesn't concern you. Asterisk, Celeste's voice took on that desperate, frantic quality I remembered from when she was a little girl and didn't get her way. Asterisk, where are we supposed to live? Where did you put all our things? Asterisk, I held out the envelope I'd been carrying. Darien lunged forward and snatched it, tearing it open with shaking fingers. He read the contents aloud in disbelief. Asterisk, Safekeep Storage, Unit 52C, Pine Street. Asterisk, asterisk, storage. Asterisk, Celeste's voice cracked. Asterisk, you took our entire life and put it in a storage unit? Asterisk, asterisk. I made sure everything was preserved carefully. The first month's rent is already paid. Asterisk, Darien crumpled the paper in his fist like garbage. Asterisk, this is insane. You can't do this to your own family. Asterisk, asterisk, real family doesn't exclude their own fathers from vacations and call them needy. Asterisk, asterisk. That's completely different, you know it. Asterisk, asterisk, is it really? Asterisk. Darien took a step closer, trying to use his physical presence to intimidate me. Asterisk, we're going to fight this in court. We're going to challenge everything you've done. Asterisk, asterisk, the sale is legal and above board. The property was mine from the very beginning. Asterisk, Celeste's voice shifted again, to that manipulative tone she'd perfected since childhood. Asterisk, how could you do something this cruel to your own daughter? Asterisk, I looked at her for a long moment, really studying her face. Asterisk, how could you do what you did to your own father? Asterisk, Nora came back out, genuine concern on her face. Asterisk, is everything all right? Asterisk, everything is perfectly fine. I assured her with a smile. Asterisk, I hope you and your husband enjoy your beautiful new home. Asterisk. Celeste and Darien were left standing on the sidewalk, still holding their fancy Italian luggage, looking exactly like lost tourists who'd wandered into someone else's life story. I walked back toward my car with deliberate, measured steps, my old work boots making solid contact with the pavement. Asterisk. This isn't over, old man. Asterisk, Darien shouted at my back. I got behind the wheel, turned the key, and my classical music station picked up right where it left off. Yes, it absolutely is over. 3 months later, I was sitting at my kitchen table enjoying my morning paper and a fresh cup of coffee when my doorbell chimed. A process server stood on my porch holding legal documents, Celeste and Darien's lawsuit against me. I signed for the papers without surprise. They'd actually followed through. By that afternoon, I was reviewing the court's official decision. Asterisk, lawsuit dismissed. Property owner had full legal right to sell his own property. Asterisk, the judge had been extremely thorough and completely unsympathetic to their claims. Darien and Celeste were now responsible for their own attorney fees, which I imagined would be quite expensive. My lawyer called within an hour. Asterisk, clean victory, Fletcher. They have no grounds for appeal. Asterisk, the local newspaper even ran a small article. Family property dispute resolved. I filed everything in a new folder labeled Legal Victory and moved on with my day like any other. The town's gossip network had been working overtime, buzzing about the situation for months. At the coffee shop, I overheard conversations at nearby tables. Asterisk, I always thought that son-in-law of his seemed entitled. Asterisk, others said. Asterisk, Fletcher Brennan worked hard his whole life. He deserved better. Asterisk, some disapproving voices muttered. Asterisk, family should always stick together no matter what. Asterisk, but I'd finally learned to let others' opinions roll off me, like water off a duck's back. When I ran into Kai Nakamura at the hardware store a few days later, he asked, Asterisk, how are you holding up? Asterisk, asterisk. I'm doing better than I expected. Asterisk. That afternoon, I went to the pet store I'd spotted months earlier. Ranger, a 3-year-old golden retriever, needed a new home because his family was relocating overseas. He's been with a family, great with people, enjoys car rides, the owner told me. I crouched down, and Ranger came right over, tail wagging like he'd been waiting just for me. The bond was immediate. Ranger seemed to sense my loneliness, and I recognized his need for someone who wouldn't leave him behind. An hour later, he was riding in my passenger seat, head out the window, both of us driving towards something different. That first night, he slept beside my bed. For the first time in months, neither of us was alone. With Ranger at my feet, I looked up travel trailers online. Best RVs for senior travel brought me to articles about freedom and adventure. At RV lots, salespeople were happy to help. I test drove a 28-foot Airstream, the right size for one person and a dog who'd already claimed the front seat before we finished the paperwork. I used my second car's trade-in value plus savings to buy it outright. Ranger took to RV living right away. We mapped our route. National parks, small towns, places I'd always wanted to visit but had put off for family duties. The morning we left Cedar Falls, my house was ready for a long absence. Mail holding arranged. Neighbors asked to check on the property. Loading the trailer, I packed camping equipment, Ranger's gear, and one photo album. Pictures of Celeste as a child, before disappointment changed us both. Ranger could sense adventure ahead, his excitement spreading to me as I started the engine and checked the hitch. We drove through Cedar Falls one final time, past familiar spots that seemed smaller now. Passing Oak Avenue, I saw Caspian and Nora's kids playing in the yard. The house was finally filled with the happiness it was designed for. The highway sign said Montana, 850 miles. Ranger had his head out the window, my hand firm on the wheel. Both of us finally free. That evening, we pulled over at a scenic overlook in Montana. I set up a camping chair as the sun dropped behind the mountains, coloring the sky in shades of orange and purple I'd never stopped to appreciate before. Ranger settled next to me, peaceful and faithful, wanting nothing more than friendship. For the first time in years, I was exactly where I was meant to be. To hear the next story, click the box on the left. And as always, thank you for watching.